Okay, so now we're going to move on to simple past, which you guys have already seen. Simple past is interesting. It's fun. Actually, I don't know. It does. It makes Spaß, yeah. It makes a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Okay. You know what? Just so that it's easier to read, I'm going to write on the side of the board here. Right?
You mean we can't write on the projector screen?
No, we get in trouble. Okay, so simple past. So, okay, so remember, it's kind of tricky, but we talked about 3 different types of verbs: strong, weak, and mixed. So, Valerie, do you mind if I pick on you? Okay, do you remember what's an example of a strong verb? I'll give you a hint. Strong verbs, they have weird past participles. That's okay. I understand. Who can help out, Valerie? Lesen, yeah. What's the past participle? Gelesen, yeah. Our strong verbs are always going to have that en ending. So strong equals en ending. Okay, what's an example of a weak verb then? Machen? Yeah. What's the past participle of machen? Gemacht, yeah. So our past participle, so for weak, we're going to have just the regular stem, right? Plus T and then GE in the beginning, right? And then we haven't talked a lot about the mixed ones, but do you remember what an example of a mixed one is? Okay, so that's kind of a tricky one because it's subjunctive and we haven't talked about it yet, so let's put that off to the side. Okay, do you guys remember what the past tense of bringen is? Gebracht, yeah? And we call that mixed because there's a vowel change, right? But does it end in en? No. So we have a vowel change plus a T. So that's kind of how we classify these 3 different verbs. Strong, you either have a vowel change, might not. For example, what's the past tense of kommen? Gekommen. It's a strong one, right? Ist gekommen, yeah? A weak one, like spielen. What's the past tense of spielen? Right, and then mixed. Gebracht, yeah? Or do you remember the past tense of denken? Gedacht. Exactly. Okay, so, and that's how they use the word often. Strong words often have a vowel change in the participle. So now we have, are there any questions? Sorry. Yes, Darcy.
Here it says plus TE. Is that?
So now when we're talking about plus TE, we're talking about the simple past. So not using the past participle, but rather using, so remember how we learned already war und hatte? So we can say, ich war in der Klasse, or we can also say, ich bin in der Klasse gewesen. So war is what's called the simple past, and bin gewesen is called the present perfect tense, or perfect. So we've already learned the perfect. I mean, that's just a title, right? And so now we're learning a different way to make the past. Just like how in English we have 2 different ways to say the past. Oh, I had ran home. I ran home, right? Or I have run home. Sorry. Okay, so no, but you're right. Like, so here we're talking about the imperfect. So just as it says here, whatever type of verb is for perfect. So if it's a strong, weak, or mixed verb with a participle, it's going to be a strong, weak, or mixed verb when it comes to the perfect, the imperfect form. So we have different examples, and so because you guys have done this already, do you kind of understand what we've done, or kind of? It's still kind of. Okay, well, let's fill out this chart and then we'll come back and see if there's any questions. Okay. Okay, so what, so for example, they've done the first three for us. So du machtest. So we already know that gemacht is a weak verb, right? So schwach means weak. So we just added what to our root? Te, right? So du machtest viel Arbeit. Jutta fuhr allein nach Hause. Is that a strong, weak, or mixed verb?
Pretty strong.
Strong, right? Because it's the same as wachen, yeah? Yeah, here's the translation in English, I think we help, right? And then durfte nicht Fernsehen. Okay, so we have a vowel change, right? But we also have a TE ending. So a vowel change is a strong, TE ending is a weak. It has both, making it a gemished, right? A mixed one. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes to discuss, because I know you've already done it, but discuss with your group, and let's finalize those columns. There's no change or anything, right? But here, we have a vowel change, making it strong.
So like, in this verb in particular, it'd be like, I drive, I drove.
Correct.
Or I have driven.
Correct. So that have
That's kind of
driven.
changes in English too.
Do you see how there's some verbs have changes? I drive, I drove. Some don't. I look, I looked. And the mix is just again. So it's ways for us to classify the nouns, the verbs. Is that kind of helping a little bit?
Yeah, I understand that. I guess what I'm lost is the whole what's strong, what's weak, and what's
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to just memorize it pretty much.
When you're learning new verbs, you have to memorize what the change is, but to examine it, well, let's discuss it together, and then let's go back to it and see if that helps. Okay, so let's get hatten, because I don't like that one, because that's kind of gemischt, and hatten ist unsere Ausnahme, yeah? That's our exception, so let's not talk about it. Okay, war. So war is the past tense of what verb? Sein. Hey, is there a vowel change?
Yeah.
There's a heck of a lot more than a vowel change. And exactly. And do we have like a TE added to it? No. So what category is this? It's a stock verb, right? This is just a classification system. So we just have to remember, okay, when we want to make the past tense of sein, we use war. Hey, musste. Okay, this one's a little bit tricky. What is our verb regularly in the present tense? Müssen, yeah? Mit Umlaut, yeah? So do we have a vowel change? Yes, because ü goes to u, right? Those are two different vowels, right?
They look the same, sort of. But
Look the same, completely
they're
different.
not the same vowel.
Exactly, kind of like how M and N look the same. Are they the same sound? No, there's a whole other hump on M. It's completely different. So we have a vowel change. But wait, we also have a TE added to it. So what classification system what column are we gonna put it in? Gemischt. Prima. Okay. Okay, und dann, wir wussten das. Okay, what is the verb in present tense? Wissen. Yeah, it's tricky because when we conjugate it, we say ich weiß. But the infinitive, wissen. Okay, it, is there a vowel change? Bless you.
Yes.
Yes, it and u are two very different vowels. Okay, but what else do we have? Te. So, gemischt. Okay, and then stand. Our infinitive? Stehen. Okay. Stehen, right. Vowel change. You betcha. Okay, and do we have that TE ending? Nein, so? Stark, yeah? Then,
Sehen.
genau, sehen.
Sah.
Haben wir ein Vokal bekommen? Ja? Das wäre stark. Wer kam zu spät? Okay, was ist das Verb? Kommen, ja. Haben wir eine Vokalveränderung? Okay. Und haben wir TE?
Nein.
Nein. Okay. Was ist das? Stark, ja. Und dann das letzte. Sie kochte Kaffee. Was ist das Verb?
Kochen.
Kochen, ja? Haben wir ein Vokaländerung?
Nein.
Okay, eine Vokaländerung. So, deswegen schwach. Schwach.